everybody, and welcome back once again. Another edition of Inside the Headset as we make our final stop as we're at week 8, game 8. And I'm with the head coach of the Blackman Blaze, Kit Hartsfield. How you doing, Coach?
Doing great. Enjoying this weather.
6-1, right? You're 6-1. Lost to Oakland is the only loss. And you went into fall break, so we'll talk about that. But then you had that last game, I guess that was Warren County?
Yes.
And then Warren County just, I saw them against Cookville, maybe got a quarter in them to where they can hang at the level you're at right now in your track in the 2018 season, not being mean to them, but on paper. But and they need a little more depth on the sideline. They just don't have the participation as some of the schools in Murfreesboro. But go ahead and talk a little bit about Warren County.
Yeah, it was, suffered a tough one versus Oakland, and had to come back the next week and play at Warren County. It's a little different than most of the places we play. It's actually a really nice environment.
It is.
Great student support and things like that, and I think that kind of helped get our kids going early in the game. We started out Donna Sote, probably had the biggest night with a punt return for a touchdown to get us going, and then a rushing touchdown.
And you expect Donna Sote to have a good game. He's an Arkansas commitment. You expect him to light it up every Friday night because he's in a pool that the other kids aren't.
Right, yeah. He's just a next level athlete, and there's not many NCC guys walking around every Friday night.
Right.
And just with the kind of the balance we've had between some of our skill players on offense, probably hurts them from being able to see them do it every Friday night, quite honestly. But it was his night, that game.
Well, and shifting gears and everything, let's talk about a couple of, because this is our last show, Coach Kit. I've got to go play. I'm playing golf actually the next 2 weeks. But anyway, It's a customer function. Come on. I got to make some money.
Yeah.
We got to have a medium to make money. Come on. But anyway, a couple of things that are on the table right now. I visited over at Oakland and, yesterday, and they got turf committees and trying to get things ready and looking for corporate sponsors and the talk of turf. And I love grass. I love where I am. I love seeing what I see. I know it takes a lot of work, but it's like Coach Creasy said, and some of these, and even Tom Krager, he's written many articles. It's about versatility. We're not like in the 80s where we have only 3 sports. You got football, basketball, and baseball. You've got other sports now, and you got lacrosse coming on and other things. The field takes a lot of wear and tear, and it needs to be ready to go when the teams are ready to go.
Yeah, it's a grind to get it ready just for football, but then I think just this week we had middle freshmen and JV Monday night,
right.
Middle school Tuesday, soccer Wednesday, freshman again Thursday, and varsity Friday, youth league Saturday. So it's really just not attainable to have it in the best conditions it needs to be in, and really keep safe for everyone.
And that's today's time.
Honesty.
Years ago, when you only had certain activities on the field, you could do it with real grass and kind of get by, but you can't do it no more, can you?
Right. No, it's just, and it affects everyone. 2 weeks in a row we've played on surfaces that were just questionable, and it's just the wear and tear of so many people using it, and the maintenance it costs to keep it up. That's being factored in with our deal on advancing towards turf, and anyone else that's trying to. If you can get it done, it's definitely probably better for the school because. In the community, just because a lot of different people can use it other than just football.
Absolutely.
The other sports and community sports and soccer and things like that, everybody's always looking for something to do and a place to have an event. And as big as our area is now, as fast as it's growing and how important sports are, I think it's more than necessary for us to have that.
And also a great chance for some of the corporate sponsors in town. You possibly could have 4 logos, maybe 2 on each end here and 2 in each end down there. And what a great opportunity to own a piece of the ground, so to speak. And every time, whether it's a TV news broadcast or a Stork Vision broadcast or somebody holding a phone, video is hot, and you're always going to be getting exposure as far as your brand.
Oh yeah, absolutely. it's just sports are so popular here, and I know in our community we have by far the highest average support for a home football game in the county, the largest youth league in the county by far, in between middle schools and the other county teams' away games. Everybody is going to come. There's going to be over 50,000 people come to our football field in 4 months, essentially. So, that's why I think we've been able to be so successful so far in our venture to get this done.
Well, and you can't go wrong supporting kids. You just can't. You can't.
No, and it's necessary. Like I said, with our youth league and youth sports, the way it can be utilized, and all the other things that can be done on a surface like that. Anything to help the kids and keep them safer, especially football-wise, the way the game's gone with concussions and such, and playing football at a young age. We want it to be safe for them.
Well, not only that, let's keep them occupied, keep them into something,
Yes, sir.
Switching gears, let's talk about scheduling. Talk to Coach Hester, and, it kind of disappointed me because they're going to be on a different track. I wanted to see Coach Hester's team come this way and get Florence Falcons out here on the field and do another broadcast and everything. That's not going to be possible. So, once again, not just, but this is who I talked to. This was some of the off-field air topics that we were talking about, and even on the air. Coach Creasy's having a tough time finding somebody to play. He's going to graduate, he said, somewhere around 25, 26 seniors. And, he's called Trinity. He's called St. X. He's called everybody. He's called Alcoa. Now, Maribel's agreed to play. I think him and Gary are possibly talking. I don't know where that situation is, because what a great, if Gary could come back, that'd be great. And then you got, you tried Bowling Green, and then, Blackman's gone down and played some Georgia schools, even when Coach Watson was here, and even Chad played some Georgia schools. What is the kid Hartsfield thought in the committee of your team, what you want to do and who you want to play, and you might schedule somewhere to get your mouth busted. Let's not be, like Coach McDaniel said. He said, sometimes we got to drive 5 hours and we might get our ass, might get our mouth busted down in Louisiana.
It's definitely tough to find games. We're not getting many people calling us. But we've made several calls. I think we've got some confirmed. We have offered a contract to Alcoa.
Great.
And a few others that we're working on. Talking closely with Mount Juliet. I think we may have Ravenwood. And non-conference, it's going to be pretty loaded.
That's going to be great. That's how you get tested.
Yeah,
if you're going to go to the championship, you're going to have to get tested along the way. There's some schools right now, they're at a 7-0, fixing to be 8-0 after Friday night, but they have not played anybody when you go down their schedule. And what's that going to result in when we get into playoffs?
Right. Yeah, the non-district games don't really count against you for the playoffs. It can be physically tough on your team and be a negative sometimes, but it's hard to find them. And whenever someone's ready to commit to play us, we pretty much have to take it.
Well, I think even when Philip went down to play, or come over to play Riverdale when they had Dave Thomas there, I think we all knew in the county he was beat, but Philip didn't let anybody know it. He said, "I'm going down there and expect to whip it on him."
Right, yeah, and it just makes it more fun.
Absolutely.
To play in big games and the competition, and you're not going to know where you're at as a team until you play someone as good or better than you. And if you only have one of those games a year, it may be too late to fix anything.
You remember the big games.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, and you played in some of them when you was at Riverdale.
Yeah, we had several big ones. We actually played a team up in Ohio my senior year.
Wow.
Worthington Kilbourne.
Yeah.
They were a 6A semifinal team. And we went up there and won 26-14.
You didn't forget it. There's an example. What I'm talking about. Now, you could have gotten beaten. It would have hurt a little worse,
Right.
But Gary went up there and took care of business.
Right. Yes, sir. Just like he always does.
Well, 3 games left. Wow, it's almost gone. I just blink and she's gone. But you got some tough roads ahead of you. First, let's talk about football. Jimmy Maynard, I saw him play earlier this year against Warren County. If you look down his roster, a lot of sophomores, and so Coach Maynard may not be fully loaded in tenure, but boy, he's getting them ready for in a couple of years. Cookville's going to be something to be reckoned with. A little sluggish right now as far as they've had some good games. Got in a battle with Riverdale, got a little bit beat. They got a bad taste in their mouth. They're going to be ready to come in here and talk a little bit about Cookville.
Yeah, they're just as always. They get better as the season goes.
Yep.
No matter who they have on their roster, they're well coached.
I love their kids. They'll bust you
Yeah,
out.
they're gritty and they're tough and they love football. They've played us more than exceptional every year. Beat us last year up there 31-16. So
you got a bad taste in your mouth.
Got a little bad taste in ours. So our kids definitely respect them, and I know I respect the heck out of Coach Maynard and his coaching staff. And regardless of who he has, they're not a team to be taken lightly.
And then I'll be here for your last two here at the Inferno for Stewart's Creek, which that's got a nice rivalry to it. That's your backyard foe. When they built Stewart's Creek, that took a bite out of your playground as far as where you pull kids from. Yep. But that's nothing against that. That's just the way it turns. And he'll be ready for you. And then the game that I hate to look ahead, but I have to. And Coach Kreisky was willing to talk to me about it. And that'll be a big pendulum game for both of you, and that'll be the backyard brawl, and it's going to build up to be what it's always been reckoned to be.
Yeah, going right into Stewart's Creek week after this is, they're not far away. It's a great gate for both teams, and they're still building their program. And unfortunately, we're not going to get to continue it probably.
Sorry.
But moving into after that, we'll go into Riverdale, and they're a lot like Cookville. A young team with a bunch of sophomores that are now starting to play like juniors as the second half of the season comes.
And I know you kind of saw some of the Oakland Riverdale game, the Battle of the Borough, and you saw at times, like Coach Kreisky, he's within the red zone. And it wasn't they made a penalty, they just either turned the ball over or ran out of downs, and so he's close to connecting those plays, and then that'd have been a closer score.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And they're just getting better each and every week. Got a good quarterback too that kind of leads the offense, strong running back. And you can just tell, seeing them from the beginning to end of the year, how much they're improving. They're not really the same team that some of the teams that played early in the season were.
Well, let's wrap it up. Anything you want to say to your faculty and staff and administration? I know that they're always behind you. I mean, they always have. I mean, regardless, but you got a good bunch of people here, and I just want to give you an opportunity to say, thanks to them.
No doubt. I mean, it's just a blessing to be at this school and in this community, and we have the best faculty. The most supportive administration is outstanding, and the parents are phenomenal too. And just thanks everyone for their support. Look forward to continuing it.
Well, Friday night right here at the Inferno, the Blackman Blaze will host the Cookville Cavaliers. Y'all be here, 7 o'clock is kickoff.